So the Chicago Bears just made a really underrated adjustment that I want to bring light to. And look, as a team in a spot this year, there's not going to be a playoff game. Shifting gears to changing expectations, changing priorities. I think it's the right emphasis, but it's no longer about our record, right? You can even argue, hey, let's get a better draft pick. But the only thing that matters right now is developing Caleb Williams. That's it. And secondarily, finding our next head coach. And literally nothing else matters right now. New offensive coordinator. He keeps impressing beyond how he calls plays. And there's just a huge adjustment nobody's talking about that's starting to unlock Caleb Williams. Brown has decluttered his headspace, and it's made all the difference. And the proof is in the Green Bay game. Let's just check this out. And John Epstein of Yahoo Sports, he brought that to the forefront. And I'm just going to kind of go to this story on SI.com as well. So we're looking at, as a Carolina Panthers offensive coordinator last year, Brown, he called plays from the sidelines. He decided this season he'd see the field better from the booth and opted to call plays Sunday from there. There's more to it than this, though. I mean, this is a pretty standard adjustment. Nothing terribly unusual here, but let's go a little deeper. Because you see, new offensive coordinator Thomas Brown, he understands something that most notably Shane Waldron absolutely did not. In a league where myriad voices are eager to advise quarterbacks, streamlining communication is absolutely crucial. And the Bears arranged for a specific headset line, a headset line that only Brown and Williams could access between drives. Brown also, he clicks over to that line to give feedback from the last series and alert Caleb to plans and expectations for the next series. Then giving him some time to review film with quarterbacks coach Kerry Joseph and connect with teammates. But that's outside of this uninterrupted, concise communication directly with his offensive coordinator. And here's what Brown said. I'm giving him an opportunity to decompress after this. Go talk with teammates. And I think Brown's found the perfect balance of decluttering the headspace of Caleb Williams, giving clear communication without a million different objectives, plus some time to get loose with teammates, prepare to play with freedom to be creative. And we're starting to see that as well. And the proof is supported by the results. And let's go to the results here. I'm going to close that down. Check out that article in its entirety. It's fantastic. So here are the results. In his first game receiving play calls from Brown, Williams completed 20% more passes than any of the past 3 games. And now we're looking at our rookie quarterback. He registered his quickest release time, 2.42 seconds on average, and applied like Brown's principles to really escape with his fewest pressured snaps. And that's interesting. And we're talking raw numbers and percentage. And this is the best of his career. Pressured snaps way down. Then once he was on the field, a new efficiency is still there, right? Play calls coming out crisply and timely. And why was that so hard for Waldron? It just doesn't make sense that was so hard. But I think this is really underrated to streamline communication, do the you and I only headset after plays, and also for him to be up in the booth so he doesn't have a play caller in his face every second. And this is here from our quarterback. Super fast. As soon as the play happened, Thomas was right on the headset giving me the play. And then from there, he just strung plays together really well. And Brown also continued to repeat calls in case game day cacophony overpowered his first delivery. I just wanted to use a word like cacophony. That gives me satisfaction. So thank you. Wilson would listen until the play clock hits roughly 30 seconds. And then he would gather teammates in the huddle from about 30 to 25 seconds, breaking the huddle around 20 seconds. Huge difference. And it's not something that's unusual. It's not something that other quarterbacks don't do, but it's something that Brown is really stressing. Just really well done. And I want to see how this continues against the Minnesota Vikings. See if look for this time frame during the game and see if he's going to continue to be consistent with this. Look at Williams listening to the play clock until roughly, 30 seconds, and then gather teammates in the huddle from about 30 to 25 seconds. Then he breaks the huddle around 20 seconds. So another benefit to this, Thomas Brown had this to say. And now you can use all your different cadences, mixing it up so the D-line can't get a jump on the snap. So I think this dude is just a quote machine when it comes to coaching philosophy. Here's another gem. Caleb Williams has enough stress downs. Most games in this league come to one-score games where he's going to make some critical throws and critical decisions. But other than that, I want to try to figure out how can we give him relief downs. And the key for Brown to it all, keeping communication open with Williams because he's only a rookie, right? And this is to hear more. I think it's a work in progress throughout the week and making sure I'm communicating clearly and concisely with him. I'm also asking him for feedback as far as if he wants some reminders in the headset about a particular play, or if he wants a reminder from an emotional standpoint. That's nice. That's my job to alleviate the stress off of him. As an offensive play caller, it's my job to alleviate this stress from the two most stressful positions, and that's offensive line and the quarterback. Man, Thomas Brown just really gets it. And if this continues, I know I'm jumping the gun, but if this continues, I absolutely am loving Thomas Brown as a head coach candidate because it's going beyond the offense. He's really bringing this team together. And if Caleb continues to ball in this complete way, how do you change him out? I mean, I don't want to lock into this, but at the very least, this is a really nice thing to see. And this is going to be tabled till the offseason. But unless Flus decides to step down, which I think he should, I would love to see Thomas Brown in the interim coaching position for this team. So why does this big adjustment matter? Let's get to it. Caleb is a player, incredibly creative on the field, super elusive. He can improvise and throw from crazy arm angles. We've seen that. He's also proving more and more that he can play within structure. And in order to do both, he cannot be indecisive and overthink everything. Simplify the information, how it's communicated. And that's where Shane Waldron's flaw was mainly. It was communicating. Too much information, slow to get the plays in, allowing too many voices during the game to confuse and overteach the rookie. Now, Brown saw that. Just like his play calling, he adapted to what he saw. Absolutely no ego here. Left the sideline, went up in the booth, shortened communication, only breaking things down before and immediately after a series is over. And then on the field is different. Once again, immediate play calls the second the previous play's over. Way more freedom to assess the defense and adjust for Caleb Williams. And that gives him more ownership, a clearer view of the field, and he can do so and process unhurried. So what did we see? Confident, poised quarterback, shook off adversity, led a game-winning drive against the Packers, regardless of that stupid field goal block. It's his development that matters, right? And it's happening. And I also like this too. Brown also is able to adjust his own style without ego, and he does so immediately. Because unlike Waldron doing this and not adjusting, just ridiculous, he saw in Carolina, he saw that having a coordinator in his face all the time wasn't helpful for Bryce Young in Carolina. Get up in the booth, direct traffic from there. So let's kind of look at some final results for Caleb Williams. With this philosophy, with this underrated adjustment. And I just really wanted to cover this. I thought it was cool. 74% completion rate. Are you kidding me? Against a defense against Green Bay. Over 300 total yards from the rookie. I believe 70 of those were rushing. I can look that up. Just an absolute stud on this final drive. That's coming back from 2 consecutive sacks. 3rd and 19, right? Fighting through it, driving the ball down the field. Basically, I mean, this is a coach that sees the need for a change. Do it immediately. This isn't working. I need to adjust what I'm doing as a coach, not force players into my philosophy, a tough mindset, a demanding style for results, but also what's truly needed for a football team. So no ego. Just put your head down, do what's needed, adjust on the fly. Just absolutely love what's happening. And this guy's just a quote machine. I just absolutely love it. If you want to stay with me for a few more minutes, I just want to let the guy talk. It is so great. Talking about comfortability when he's calling plays. Great quote. Yeah, I think it's simple. It doesn't matter what I'm comfortable with. I don't play, so I can always adapt or adjust on what your job is as a coordinator. It's my job to adapt and adjust to our players, to what our guys are doing. So whether it's Caleb, whether it's the O-line, whether it's the receivers, tight ends, running backs, whatever, it's our job to design a plan to obviously attack a defense, but also to play to what we do well. And this is just really cool to hear from this guy. My goal is always to put us in the best spot for our guys to make plays based on tendencies. I like this. Based on tendencies, based on how we seam up, based on formation, motion, variations. So I definitely believe in marrying the run and the pass, marrying formations and motions. But then he also continues to talk about he wants to develop tendencies. He wants to develop film that other teams can see. So when he's on the field, he can make a shift and go the opposite of those tendencies and really shake things up. And I know this is what so many offensive coordinators do. I'm just glad we finally have one that's willing to do it. I'm going to leave you with one more quote, and this is about pre-snap motion. Trying to do a really good job of putting a seed of doubt in the minds of the defenders before the ball is snapped to give us an advantage to go play more aggressively. One particular sequence was about obviously attack the defense to get our guys involved early in the game, spread the wealth around. I mean, I could go on and on and on. Every quote from him seems to be a football t-shirt, but I just wanted to put a spotlight on this, how this underrated adjustment in communication, in positioning of the coaches, in even the chain of command of how the quarterback and who the quarterback communicates with, also giving that downtime. I just wanted to highlight that. A lot of people are not covering it, and it looks like it's made all the difference in Green Bay. And it also highlights a coach who's definitely auditioning for this head coaching job, a coach who has no ego, is willing to adjust. And I think it's going beyond just the X's and O's of the offense. I think it's permeating the whole team. And we have 7 games, I believe, to still discern that. And I'm going to be looking for that against Minnesota. So look for this time frame within the huddle. Look for 30 seconds of Caleb Williams getting the play in. Look at 30 to 25 second mark as talking in the huddle. And then look at how the play's executed and see if it's methodical, see if it's within structure, and also allowing Caleb Williams to avoid those stress plays and to actually be creative with his feet and with his football acumen. We're going to see some crazy arm angles, I'm sure. And Brian Flores, he's going to blitz. So this is going to be a great test. You guys bear down. Can't wait for the game. Thanks for watching as always. See you in the comments. Later.